In the corridors of power in Washington, D.C., a storm is brewing. Not one brought by nature, but by policymakers wielding the power of the purse. As whispers of proposed reductions in U.S. social spending programs grow louder, the implications could ripple out far and wide, threatening to upend lives, particularly among the most vulnerable. These are not just fiscal adjustments, but potentially seismic shifts in how America cares for its own people, echoing controversies that have shaken other nations, such as the recent social spending cuts in Ontario, Canada. But what are the real stakes here? As America tightens its belt, who stands to lose the most? And could this herald not just hardship, but a transformation of societal norms? In the quest for budgetary balance, key U.S. social programs are on the chopping block. The proposed budget cuts aim at trimming billions from programs such as Medicaid, food assistance, federal student loans, and unemployment benefits. Official statements justify these cuts as necessary steps towards reducing the national debt, a noble goal, yet one fraught with immediate human costs. As these figures starkly highlight, the depth and breadth of the proposed cuts are unprecedented in recent times. Experts warn that this could lead to increased poverty rates and exacerbate socioeconomic disparities that already plague the nation. Moreover, the anxiety among affected communities is palpable. Town hall meetings and social media platforms have become arenas of fervent discussion, reflecting a populace both concerned and mobilized against what they perceive as an attack on their basic safety net. Dissecting these cuts reveals a disturbing potential pattern: the disproportionate impact on the vulnerable. Consider Medicaid, which serves as a lifeline for over 70 million Americans, predominantly low-income individuals, including many children and elderly. Reductions here might not just mean less healthcare access, but could translate into higher long-term healthcare costs due to the neglect of preventative care. This family represents just one of the millions who could be thrust into precarious situations due to healthcare uncertainties. Stories like theirs are multiplying across the country, painting a grim picture of what the future holds if these cuts proceed. Moreover, the cuts extend beyond healthcare. The reductions in educational funding could mean fewer resources for public schools, particularly impacting inner cities and rural areas where educational inequality is already stark. These are not just figures in a budget line. They represent children's futures, educators' jobs, and communities' hopes for a brighter tomorrow. Looking north to Ontario, a similar scenario unfolded recently when provincial leaders implemented sweeping social program cuts aimed at erasing deficits. The backlash was swift and severe, with public protests and political fallout suggesting that the electorate felt the cuts were not just fiscal, but a betrayal of societal trust. The Ontario case is particularly instructive for U.S. policymakers. Despite initial claims of fiscal necessity, the government faced formidable opposition, not just from the public, but also from various institutional stakeholders who highlighted the broader repercussions of such policies, from increased homelessness to strained public health systems. This international perspective serves both as a caution and a mirror, potentially forecasting the social unrest and public dissatisfaction that might follow similar policies in the U.S. The debate over social spending cuts transcends dry fiscal discussions. It touches the very ethos of what it means to be a community, a society. There's an intrinsic ethical dimension in how a society chooses to allocate its resources, what and whom it values. Decisions to/social programs raise profound ethical questions about the obligations of the state to its citizens, especially the most helpless. The potential ripple effects are significant. Beyond individual hardships, such cuts could reshape the societal landscape, fostering environments where disparities grow and social mobility stiffens. As history shows, such environments can lead to increased crime, public dissent, and a fraying social fabric. Facing these formidable challenges, there is no clear or easy path forward. The U.S. stands at a crossroads, needing to balance fiscal responsibility with social commitments. While fiscal sustainability is unquestionably crucial, An approach that also considers the human costs is equally vital. Experts suggest a combination of strategies, from improving tax enforcement and broadening tax bases, to rethinking the effectiveness of current spending. But equally important is an engaged public discourse that places societal well-being at the heart of fiscal debates. Ultimately, navigating these troubled waters will require not just sound economic strategies, but a reaffirmation of the societal values that define America: compassion, equity, and a commitment to ensuring no one is left behind.